Hi there, my name is Guidry, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 must-know tips if you're a photographer looking to uplevel your business. Before we dive into the content, I want to let you know that I have a ton of free resources in our resource shop. So if you want to go to the description below, you'll be able to see the links to our free pricing guide, our free posing guide, and we also share all of our discount codes on the resources page in our education. So now let's jump in. The first must-know tip is that you must know your gear thoroughly. I feel like this is something that even I took for granted in my career. I have shown up to photo shoots without being thoroughly familiar with my cameras. Even a few years ago, I unfortunately bought a camera and thought that I knew it well enough, but then whenever the exit happened, all of the exit photos were blurry. Thankfully, I have some really mad Photoshop skills, and I actually took an exit image from their church ceremony and photoshopped them into the sparkler exit, and thankfully to this day they either didn't know or didn't ask, and it was a huge lesson learned for me. What I took from that was that if I am planning to photograph a professional event with any type of gear, whether it's a light meter, a trigger, a light, a camera, new memory cards, whatever it is, the first time that you use it should not be at a paid gig. You should be testing that gear at home with a friend, with your partner, with someone that is not paying you. When you're being paid for those events, those sessions, those weddings, you want to be super familiar with your gear. So know your gear. That is the first must-know tip if you are a professional photographer. The second is that posing is going to be the key. No matter, in my opinion, whether you are photographing in a beautiful landscape or you're photographing in magical lighting, if the client looking at the photo is not enjoying what they're seeing, if they aren't enjoying how they're feeling while it's being taken, and then after the fact, when they're looking at the photo, if they don't enjoy the way they were posed and just don't feel like themselves, don't feel like they look their best, that ultimately is going to be the deciding factor. I think that all the lighting, the composition, the location, that is all important. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that in the opinion of the client, when they look at that photo, the first thing that they're looking at is themselves. They're looking at their expression. They're looking at if they feel natural in the photo and how emotion filled they are. I actually have a course called The Posing Plan where I deep dive into posing, but I truly believe posing is one of the most important elements of a photograph. From a photographer's perspective, we might be happy if we enjoy the composition and the lighting and the client is not necessarily the focus. But I'm specifically talking about if you're trying to get those raving reviews and referrals from your clients, from those planners, and from the people who are affiliated with the client in general, they are going to care about the posing. So that would be my tip right there, is to really hone in on your posing skills and make sure that you've mastered those. The third key element as you're building your professional business is that you want to keep it organized. If you're working with the client, you want to have that client organization kind of very streamlined and ironed out. And then of course, if you're working with others, maybe you're outsourcing aspects of your business, you want to be organized there as well. So I'll share with you some of the tools that we use. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that although sometimes I do struggle like everyone else to be organized, I always am trying to streamline my processes and get things really organized in the business. I feel like this is really the best way to be efficient and to get things done. Some of the programs that we most use and love are Dubsado on the client side. That's what we use to have our contracts, our invoices. We can see how much money we made in the business, how much money is outstanding. It is really an incredible and super robust program. I also offer my canned emails for sale, but we have canned emails preloaded into Dubsado. I also have a discount code that I'll share with you, but Dubsado is the program that we use for the client side. On the business side, I really use 2 main softwares. Those 2 main softwares are ClickUp, which we just recently switched into. Love it so far. It is really great for communicating with other people, dropping documents in, corresponding about tasks. It's a really, really cool program. In addition, we also use a program called Voxer, Voxer. Voxer is such a great program for just super quick communication. I have even adopted using Voxer with groups of friends and people that I'm in masterminds with. But Voxer is really great because it's almost like if text messaging and voice memos, came together and had a baby. Like, it is just a very cool system. Some of the things I love about it the most are that when you're listening to audio from someone else, you can actually speed it up because we can typically listen faster than we can speak. And so even as you're watching this video, like you can do on YouTube where you adjust the playback speed, you can adjust the playback speed in Voxer. So that's one of the features I really like. I also like the fact that unlike an iMessage, if you're listening to someone's audio message, you can actually minimize the app while you're doing other things on your phone. So if somebody has a 10-minute Vox to me, I can minimize and still be listening while I'm, looking through images on my phone or doing something mindless that doesn't really involve emailing or anything like that. But listening to the Voxes while you're still working on your phone is really cool. I don't know if you guys have ever been recording an iMessage but got it interrupted and it deleted the whole message. That is a huge pet peeve of mine. Now that I'm actually digging into Voxer, I feel like I could do a whole YouTube on why I love Voxer so much. But one of the cool things is that when you're recording, if a call comes through, it'll just pause. So you can actually press stop and play, and you can fast forward on all your audio messages, all of other people's audio messages. But if you are recording and a call comes through, it just stops your message. It doesn't actually delete it, which is amazing, because I don't know about you, but when that happens to me, I'm just like, oh, whatever, it's not that important. And so I really love Voxer. That's one of the programs that we use on the inner workings of the business. The next thing that I'm going to emphasize is connection. If you have tuned in to any of my other podcasts or videos, then I'm a huge proponent of connection. In fact, today in our community, the Wedding Photography Society, we interviewed Katie Mary, and Katie shared with us that one of the biggest lessons that she wished she learned earlier was the power of relationships and connections in life and in the industry, and I couldn't agree more. I truly believe that the connections that you make in this industry will not only help you enjoy your job more when you're working with friends and working with other people that you love to work with in the industry, but also it will help you propel the business. Ultimately, when I think about who I'm going to refer, I think about people that I enjoy working with. Which planners do I enjoy working with? Which videographers do I enjoy working with? And they're doing the exact same thing because we're working side by side on the wedding day. So building those connections, building those relationships, and not just in the industry, but outside of it as well, is very important. So when I sat down to think about what are the 5 things that I want to talk about, these are the most important things that I truly believe you need to focus on in the business: gear, posing, organization, connections. And the last one is going to be continuing education. It doesn't matter where you are in the business. I don't care if you've been photographing for 30 years. If you stop learning, you can just go ahead and assume that the business is on its way out. I believe that as you continue to grow as a photographer, that you should always be expanding your knowledge, testing new gear. I'm constantly laughing at sessions because even recently I had a client that said, oh, is that the new lens that you love so much? And I'm like, actually, no, this is a different one. I'm testing out something new today, but I did bring that one along as well. And so I'm always testing out new gear, new strategies, new programs. You just don't want to be stagnant in your business. I think that some of the best things that I've done for my business are, connecting with other photographers, joining memberships and masterminds, and of course, reading books. So if you are in a place of feeling like maybe you're stagnant, try those things. Those things can really help to give you inspiration and help you feel invigorated and connected. Thank you so much for listening to this. This was one that I was really excited to record because I think there's a lot to learn about in this business. But with these 5 things, I feel like you're truly setting yourself up for success. Thank you so much for listening. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks. Bye.